All right, grasshoppers. It is what is it? Tuesday afternoon? Tuesday? Yeah, no, Wednesday
Wednesday.
afternoon. Wednesday afternoon. All right, this fine magical creature that you see on the screen is Seema Levy. We met. What was it? Penn Six, right? The city before Ranger game. That's right. Her and her a fantastic boyfriend were together, and we met. And then I've done her podcast. What is the name of your podcast again?
Gold Coast Connections.
Gold Coast Connections. So you're in the real estate business, correct?
Yes.
And that's the name of the company, Gold Coast Correction.
So no, the company is Nest Seekers. Really, it's an international company, coast to coast. The name Gold Coast Connections came about because I love traveling coast to coast and connecting with people such as yourself. And I met 4 fabulous people, and we launched this incredible podcast. So far, we've had 10 amazing guests such as yourself. And we are secured already with a lot more for 2023. Our launch date is January 4th, 2023.
So the podcast is called Gold Coast Connections.
Connections, right? Yes.
And I was by far the best guest. Is that what you guessed?
The best. I promise, the best. It was instant. I did not even look at the notes once. It was like this energy, and it was just flowing. And you're so interesting. And what you have done in your life and what you do now, how it correlates and different, but at the same time gives such substance. And you're a major influence and an inspiration to all.
Thank you very much. And you as well. Your story is a fantastic story. But it is interesting how we all want to improve all the time. Like, and I feel myself like probably 5 years ago, and not nearly as in a good a place as I am now as far as public speaking and realizing the impact you can have on other people and everything. So yeah, a lot of fun. Okay, here's one of our best guests, Barry Shelley. Barry Shelley is this fantastic human being. We're going to put his statement. You may be the best guest, but she has the best hair.
Thank you.
So Barry is a U.S. veteran, serves as military police. This is up in Cooperstown, New York. Great guy. Does a lot of great stuff for other people.
Thank you for your services.
Yes. So, Seema, tell me then, so where are you from? What's your nationality?
Oh boy, I am a mutt. For real, I'm like literally a mutt because I have everything in me. So my mom is French, from Marseille. Whoever did not go to Marseille, please go visit. It's the most magnificent, most beautiful place. And my dad is from Tel Aviv. However, my ancestry comes from France, Portugal, Spain, according to 23andMe, and Malta Island, which I don't know what that is, but we'll go visit.
Cool. Very cool. And you like to travel?
I love to travel.
Right.
You know, if I had to be anyone else in life, I would be an anthropologist because I love discoveries, not just foods and cultures, but meeting people and see what they're all about. I think I have a gift where wherever country I'm from, you know, when they say like, do like the Romans, like when in Rome, do like the Romans.
Sure.
I actually can do that in every place. I'm almost like a chameleon because I adapt to the culture so fast, and I can understand mannerism.
Very good. Yes, very good. Very good. And so real estate is your main business, so correct?
Yes, that's my bread and butter. I do love real estate because of everything that it does. You know, meeting the new people and actually making dreams come true. Real estate is one of those businesses that you have to be on top of your game, because if you don't and you slack, it's, you know, it consumes you.
Sure.
So with that said, I have the most amazing closing coming up because it means so much to me.
Nice.
And it's a day before my birthday that's going to happen. And it's someone I met when I was in between homes. Mm-hmm. And the woman is worked in the hotel. I lived in the most magnificent hotel. I was literally Eloise for about 6 months. Mm-hmm. And she took such good care of me that it's my mission to take such good care of her. Nice. And it's her first home. And I'm so excited. Very
good. Now, just out in Long Island, is that where you work? Or are you in the city?
I'm internationally. So I have licenses in New York, Connecticut, and Miami, and more to come.
Oh, very good.
So I say Miami because I love Florida so much. Miami is my favorite place in Florida, but it's obviously all of Florida.
Also, so obviously you have to get your license in each individual state, correct?
Yeah, but there's actually really cool ways of getting your licenses. So if you get your Connecticut license, then you don't have to really get your Florida license. So because it goes hand in hand. So go that way, because the test in Connecticut is less hard.
Oh, okay. Good. Nice. So talk to me about the real estate business. At the start of the pandemic here in Greenwich, the real estate business market wasn't very good at all for people selling homes. But when the pandemic hit, it took off. Now there's bidding wars. So what's going to happen now? So a lot of people left the city, came out to places like Greenwich, Connecticut. What's going to happen now that it seems people are trying to get back to normal? Are those people going to move back to the city, you think?
Well, here's the thing. The city is always going to be the city. With that said, the city is influenced by inflation, crime, etc. Are people going to move back to the city? I think people are going to migrate according to their needs. So people moved out of the city. Honestly, I think it's because of the pandemic. I think because, people realize what would happen if we get stuck at the house again. Us people in Connecticut, Long Island, we had our backyards. I remember walking in my neighborhood, just walking the dog and seeing people from the distance wearing a mask. At least you saw people. In the city, when you're in an apartment, you were constricted. Sorry. So what is happening now in real estate is that builders are becoming smart. So they are creating almost a country club kind of feel in the next, buildings and the coolest thing I've heard that they're planning is almost like the Porsche building where the car goes up to the apartment, and then you have the rooftop and a restaurant and the gym. So really, it's all in one building. Sure. So I think, people are going to go back to the city. It's a great, great question. And it's all in due time. I do think that we've reached a peak when it came to inflation. The Fed can only raise so much. And what goes up must come down. That's what I always believe in.
Yeah, it looks like the city's back to normal now. I remember at the start of the pandemic, probably about 2 months into it, I had a business meeting in Midtown, so I took the train in. And man, it was eerie because there was nobody on the streets. And now when you go back in there, it seems like everything's back to normal. Although Times Square is worse than normal now.
It's worse than normal. But I have to share a weird story that happened. Crime is just high. It's high all around. One of my birthday celebrations, birthday month, was this past Monday. Very nice restaurant.
Hold on. So you have a birthday month? You celebrate for the full month?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
I'll tell you why though.
All right.
Growing up, I was not gypped, but I was always second to the holidays. My birthday is December 23rd. So now I decided that it's going to be a birthday month. Actually, not just now. Like it's been for a long time that it's a birthday month. Right. And, so we start earlier so the holidays can take precedence. But this is what happened. It's not so funny. And I do have to share the story. No matter where you are, I think crime is at the highest point, unfortunately. So we were on my birthday and it was about 20 ladies. And the valet guy walked into, I had a private room, really pretty with flowers. It was so cozy and yummy. And he said, "Does anyone have a white Porsche Cayenne?" And my friend said, "Yeah, me." And he said, "Well, I knew it was yours because you're a regular. I just was hoping that it wasn't yours because I just seen it drive by." Oh. And she said, "I don't understand what you're talking about. You have my valet keys." And he's like, "Yeah." He was distraught. He was so upset. So the second part of my birthday, we were trying to speak to the detective and all of that. They found a car in Jersey City, but she's not getting her car back. It's somewhere in a different country. Long story short, crime is high no matter where you are. This is a very good restaurant, a very good neighborhood.
Sure. Yeah, it is bad. So and it appears that people just are accepting it now in the city. There's no problem going back to the city. The real estate market is back where it was.
It's almost there. It's not where it was, but my projection is that March and April, it's going to get to where it is. Right now, it's still if you're a buyer, right now it's a buyer's market, even though people think it's the opposite. Well, the sellers have to lower their prices because they want the buyers, right? Sure. And the inflation is high. People don't think that they can get good interest rates. So if there's a smart buyer, you should capitalize on the lower selling price.
Yeah.
And refinance. That's all. Refinance in a few months from now and just pay the extra difference because the cost will be much less for you to buy a home today.
Yeah. And the market like Greenwich, where people move out of the city up here to Greenwich, will those city people move back to the city, you think?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think, well, no, I shouldn't say that. I think that maybe as a second place, but I think once you get accustomed and comfy in the suburbs, it's hard to go into the city. Right. When I lived in the city, I only wanted to go back to the city, but a year or two later, I got so comfortable, and I think it's a personal decision. I do.
Because I love the city, but I also love getting out of the city too. Like
correct. You come to your sanctuary, your backyard. You know, I actually get sunrises in my backyard. Not as beautiful as Mr. Laidlaw, because those are very inspiring. Sometimes I feel guilty when I see, that he's out and about at 3:30 a.m. And I said, oh God, I got to go to Pilates. I got to go to SoulCycle. I have to get up. So thank you for the inspiration.
You're welcome. It's funny at the beach there now. So starting December 1st, people are allowed to have their dogs there. So if they're, so it's a big park. The beach is just part of the park. So everywhere except on the beach, the dog has to be on a leash. Well, it's supposed to be anyways. But on the beach, the dogs can be allowed to run free. Now, there's certain rules. They've got to be under control. They can't bother other people. But, at 6 o'clock in the morning when I'm there and it's dark, if somebody comes, they just let their dog run. Well, I've had a couple of times where I've had to defend myself. The dogs are coming up trying to bite me because they're scared. They don't see me. Yeah. So I've had to educate. I call it, I'm an educator. I'm educating the people how to control their dogs. So they're acting better lately. There's one gentleman I had a little confrontation with. I started off very nicely, said, please control your dog. And he started talking back to me. So it got a little heated. And now I notice he controls his dog when he sees me coming. So I've educated him.
I love it. I love that. You do have a gift with dogs. I've seen you with a service dog. How good.
Yeah. And my son and his wife got a little golden retriever too. So cute. And it's kind of funny because he gets so excited when he sees me. He pees on my foot.
Oh my gosh, I love that. That's so funny. I think it's a golden retriever thing because I had one named Rusty.
Oh, is that right? Oh,
yeah,
God,
he was
cute.
So cute.
Yeah, I'm definitely like his grandfather. That's how I feel like I was.
Oh, grandpa.
Definitely. So you say, so you work in Connecticut, Florida, and New York. You got your licenses. So somebody calls you from, let's say you're from France someplace, and they want to find a place to stay. You can take them to all those different states and show them around.
Absolutely, because we are international.
Right.
So we have referral system, and also I had someone ask me to sell their it was a plot in Israel, and I got a little bit excited, but I was very new in the business when that happened, and it's still out there for me. So we're gonna revisit that.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
So the idea for the podcast, where did that come from?
Me.
Nice.
I guess because I did Zoom a lot during the pandemic. Aside from real estate, I'm a certified life coach, and I absolutely love sharing my experiences and goals and life, because life gives you experiences, and then you take and you choose to do what you want to do with it. So I'm a big believer that the director is more important than the actor in a movie. 100%, hands down. I used to be an actress in my own movie because I was just that, was an actress.
So hold on. You made a movie? Really? I didn't know that. What's the name of the movie? I have to look it up.
No, I didn't make a movie. I was actor in a lot of movies, but I did not make movies. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
My point is that you have to become a director of your own movie. I feel like life is a movie, and you can choose to do what you want with it, right? So in the past, I was always the little girl that was, I hate to use the word controlled, but over-spoiled by her parents is part of control, because I was told, oh, wear this, you're going to look so good. Oh, wear that, and do this and do that. I think it's a French thing, and I really do. But and then I got married and then too personal, but I was also somewhat controlled in the behavior of to fit the perfect wife and the perfect
Oh,
this and the
yeah.
perfect everything is perfect, perfect, perfect. Um, Today I direct my own movie and I have a lot to say and I can help people. But it doesn't mean that you are bitchy, excuse my language, or overpowering, because on the contrary, vulnerability is part of power, because when you listen and you want to help and work together, you do attract people
Yeah.
with the same demeanor.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get yourself to be somewhat of a target sometimes as well, right? Because you're you're there to help everybody. So people have problems, want to approach you, which is great. It's just as long as you make sure you take care of yourself too. That's the big thing.
Correct, 100%.
But I do with you. You're in control of your own life. I was at Costco this morning, so I go to Costco all the time. So I get to know all the people that work there. And this one guy, a great guy, I call him Mr. Happy. He's always in a great mood. So I was at my Costco. There's 2 floors. So I was coming down the escalator. He was at the bottom. Now the escalator. And I started yelling, "Hey, Mr. Happy!" And this older woman turned around, and looked at me like, "Geez, what's wrong with this guy?" But actually got talking, and she was funny. She says, "Yeah, you really can't control how your life is, right? You could control whether you're happy or sad during the day." So, yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I really do. I think, yeah, I think you can control. And you know what? I'm going to capitalize on what you're saying, because it's hard. Sometimes it is hard because life throws you all this, targets. But in the end of the day, you said it best. And honestly, I'm going to quote you. You said it's the discipline.
Oh, yeah.
Because, yeah. And I love when you said that, because the days that you don't feel 100% like you don't want to do certain things, but when you discipline and you start your morning in a right positive notation, then the rest of the day would follow.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah, guys, I've learned too that, listen, motivation is a great thing. Motivation isn't always there though, right? Like some days you wake up and you're not motivated. But when you have that discipline, then you still get the thing done that you're supposed to get done. And in some ways, those days when you're not motivated and don't feel like doing it, but you get it done anyways because of your discipline, man, those are great days too, because man, you've done something that you don't really, it's easy to work out when you're feeling great. It's easy to go to the gym when you're feeling great, but when you're not feeling like doing it and you still get it done, and those are glorious days. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I love that. It is. Those are glorious days. And you know what? I already went to Pilates this morning and it feels really, really good. And
so I anticipated this was going to happen. So Danny's the first one. Seema has Kim Kardashian eyes.
Oh, thank you.
Danny has a wife, Tina, who is Portuguese, I believe. I think is she Portuguese? Yes. Yeah. So Danny, don't be flirting with her when you got your own wife. What's wrong with you? Jeez, Danny. Yeah.
He's also, hi, Danny.
Danny's a good guy. He picks on
my brother's name.
Danny. Oh. Mm-hmm. How many siblings how many siblings do you have? Your brothers and sisters?
I always say my brother. So I had 3, were 2. Danny, is my special Danny. Is up there, but my angel forever.
Oh.
And I have a younger brother and an older brother.
Oh, good. Now, do you have children?
I have 3 kids.
Oh.
Honestly, all gorgeous. My kids, I love them so. Jordan, Logan, and Paris.
Very good. Very good. Paris. Oh, nice. How old are they? How old are they?
So 19, 17, and my oldest is 21.
Oh, okay. So off of college, the 2 oldest?
One graduated, one in college, one is in high school.
Oh, very good. Very good. Would the older one?
An empty nester.
There you go. What the older one graduate with? What was his degree?
Obviously business. They all go for business.
Oh,
all the boys go for business.
Good.
But now he's developing market strategy for mortgage companies.
Oh, very cool. Wow.
And mommy's gonna work together.
Very good. Very good. Excellent. And
he works for United Mortgage. If anyone wants to look up Jordan Levy.
Excellent. Very good. Let me see. Here's Danny again. Danny comes up with some good ones. Like some days he's on fire. Try being nice to people when you're in the absolute worst mood. Absolutely. It is a challenge, but it's
it's so funny, Danny. I had such an experience one day. I am naturally a happy person. Thank goodness. But certain days you have your days, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I was at Equinox, love Equinox, nothing bad about Equinox. Taking one of those Bozu Ball class.
Mhm.
So I come early. I like to set up, when things are not set up, like today, I get like so flustered, but my fault. Long story short, I set everything up so nicely. And then I see this girl literally watching her because like I was talking to some other girl in the back, moving my stuff over.
Oh.
And put me behind her.
Ooh, not good. Not good.
So and then I just approached her and I looked at her and she just like, wanted to like launch at me. So I said, oh, clearly you're having a bad day. You can have my spot. And I diffused the situation because she felt so confused.
Right.
But it could have been easily, yeah.
See, that's good on you. I don't know if I could do that. Well, I could do it. So it's.
I just didn't understand. It was so confusing, but I thought about it. I said something.
That's good. That's good to do. Yeah. Yeah. You took the high ground
she
on it.
She called me on a good day.
Yeah. And it made you look better too, right? Made you look better, probably feel better. Yeah. I think the problem I have, and I think a lot of men are like that too. When we do that, we go back later and go, why did I let that person do that to me? It's the ego kicks in, I think. Right.
Yeah. Okay. So you're saying like the key word is the ego. I find in real estate, especially, it's I love everyone in real estate, but sometimes the ego kicks in and we don't behave a certain way till we diffuse a situation. The ego is obviously the root of all evils, right? Like it's when you think with your ego, you can't think clearly. Yeah. And you know what? I always say this, like you start off with a compliment everyone because everyone has their own strength. Everyone has their own unique self, right? So when I was younger, I dealt with a lot more egos than today. Today I diffuse it because I have no patience for it. Sure. Yeah. I just diffuse the whole thing. And if I choose to walk away, I walk away.
Yeah, I'm better at it than I used to be, getting the ego. I was driving one day from the beach in the morning and these guys behind me in the car. So I'm driving the speed limit 30 miles an hour and they're in a hurry. So they come up behind me. I can see in the rearview mirror, they're giving me the finger and all this kind of stuff. And then they cut around outside me and cut me off and they give me the finger going by. And in the past I would have been, okay, I'm going to chase these guys down. I'm going to show them who's boss, I was very happy with myself. I calmed down. I said, listen, doesn't matter to me. They're gone.
Yeah, you can't do that. Today, there's some crazies on the road. You can't.
Well, that's part of it. Yeah.
I think it's like that old video game when I was little, like Frogger. Like, I don't even know how people drive.
Yeah.
It's insane. I got into a car accident just recently. Like, it was so weird because it was a 4-car collision and I was the 4th one. So I tried to avoid it, but I couldn't. And this is how real estate is. I kid you not, true story. I was doing a podcast with my boss and the owner of, it's okay, it's funny, but whatever. Right. With 2 really cool people. Right. I was picked up from the crime scene, I call it, from the accident scene. Right. And my friend waited with my car with all the paperwork so I can go and do the podcast because otherwise can't do it because there's no other time for this certain person. Right. So that's when the ego, crime, all thing comes in.
Oh, totally. Yeah. So Danny brings up, so I'll tell you the story. I probably not told you the story. So now I just throw a ladder. Okay. So at my condominium complex where I live, especially during the summer, they were doing this construction and there's a town ordinance that after 6 o'clock, the construction noise has to stop. So they violated that a few times. They're working past 6 o'clock. So I took it upon myself again to be the educator and go over and inform them that they needed to stop at 6 o'clock. So there's about 10 guys working and there's just me. And I told them, I said, guys, it's 6 o'clock. You need to stop. And they said, well, no, we're keeping going. I said, okay. So now my blood pressure got going. My ego got going. And there's a ladder against the wall. And I'm looking at the ladder and it's like I got those 2 different men on my shoulders. One person saying, throw it, Tom, throw it. And the other person, Tom, don't do it. Tom, don't do it. So my ego got the best of me. I took the ladder, threw it down the hill.
Oh my God.
Didn't hurt anybody, didn't break the ladder, no damage, anything. But they learned that they should leave and they left right away. So
wow. I wouldn't mess with you. You are solid. Like literally. solid.
Well, that,
That was
well,
not
that's the thing.
much appeal.
Yeah, that's the thing. I went out with the tight black t-shirt on and everything too, so I was putting on a show. And I shouldn't do it. Because then I thought to myself after, I said, there's probably somebody with a video camera that's videoing me doing this.
100%.
Oh God.
It's gonna come out soon.
Yeah. But I must admit though, it felt good. I cannot tell a lie. It felt good. So okay. So your real estate business, and so you're doing a podcast, real estate. It's pretty much you work when you want to work in the real estate business, correct?
You do. However, you should be working every day in real estate because it is a system. It's not like the phone rings and, people said, oh, can you come and, sell my home? Obviously, it's probably one of my hardest jobs that I've ever had. But also very rewarding because I get to meet amazing people. But there's a whole system. So you have to look at the expired listings, I set my days accordingly. Tuesdays on my podcast, right? So I don't do anything else because I'm just concentrating on that. But Monday I look at anything that is expired, and Tuesday podcast. Wednesday I write a beautiful postcard, and I'm very good on Canva. I'm obsessed with the app. I think anyone should use it for everything, whether a holiday card or a letter, a professional letter, or anything. Of that nature, and I create a beautiful postcard of what could have went wrong, why the home did not sell. Then I get it printed out the next day. Shout out to my UPS in Jericho. I love you guys. I just, I like creating and then have them printed ASAP. And then I mail it. Then I go to the office, and then I follow up with recent leads. And then on the weekends, I'm at the Sagamore. So I'm one of the agents at the Sagamore in Woodbury, 76 luxurious townhomes. They're stunning. I may end up there, please God. I absolutely love the development. Cool. So I guess I work a lot.
Yeah. So that's right. Like to get the clients, right? You've got to really work to find the clients to sell the homes.
100%. 100%. I do know a lot of people in Long Island, so it's good. I grew up here. So I guess, I grew up here. I've been here for a while. I guess it's good to know people. So there's a lot of referrals, but it's also as your last good job.
There's a funny, have you ever seen the show 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen?
Love it.
It is funny. So his mother is the real estate agent.
Yeah.
And there's a funny scene where she's reading the obituaries to see if she can find clients.
Oh my gosh. I saw that episode. I couldn't believe it. Wait. And I thought to myself, it's so funny because she's smart because she doesn't have to send letters to the state attorneys. She just
it's kind of cold. It's kind of cold in some ways, but if they've got to sell the house, they've got to sell the house, right? It was pretty interesting. Yeah. Oh,
that is hysterical. You know what? You just gave me an idea. I forgot about it.
Well, you know what? They made her out to be kind of a cold person, but I thought about that. Well, it's actually kind of smart, right?
She is smart.
Yeah.
She's very smart.
Yeah.
She could send a nice picture like, no, condolences.
That's a funny show. That was a funny show.
That is a funny show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I like Charlie Sheen in it.
Yeah. Well, I liked him until he kind of lost his mind there. It's like he was. He was funny. I watched that show.
Is he alive?
I think he's still alive. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Well, he looked like he wasn't going to be alive much longer.
Oh my gosh, horrible.
That was funny. And they had the one scene too where he died, and I guess it was the last show because he was leaving the show.
Oh, yes,
that's right. And then they had the funeral. And they had all his old girlfriends show up to the funeral, and it was hilarious. Some of the stuff they were saying about him. So
that is so funny. I know that's a very good show.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Somebody's saying hello. Here's one of our local perverts here.
Oh no!
Billy, so he claims that this guy is Ukrainian, and we question whether that last name is really a name or not. We think he just I think he just threw a whole bunch of letters together to make it look like it's a name. Well, hello, Sima. Oh God.
Do you have any family in Ukraine?
I think he's got family in Ukraine. Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I hope they're all okay. I can't stomach it.
Yeah, I know. I actually, one of the guys I know at Costco, I didn't realize Pavel, his family's Ukrainian too, so he's got his mother and sister there as well. So, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, I sent fabulous clothing to Ukraine.
Nice. Good. Just stuff you didn't use.
Ukrainian women are so beautiful, and they will appreciate it no matter what state of mind.
Right. Okay. Nice. He does have family in Ukraine. Yes, that's right.
I hope they're okay. Can they get out?
Yeah, we've talked about that before. With I think they were safer, whatever. Yeah. Oh God.
Uh,
All
I
right.
love it.
So when to the podcast? You've got about 10 in the can already. That's the industry calls, right? In the can. Is that what they say? In the can
I couldn't hear you.
The podcasts that you've done already, you have 10 of them done?
I have 10 of them done. Very interesting segments. One of them was super interesting because speaking about real estate, it was somebody from my company who asked me, how can someone who's 20 be taken seriously selling luxurious homes?
Oh,
Which was such an
yeah.
incredible question.
Right.
So my answer to him is that I already take you seriously because you're here.
Right.
And it's consistency and always listen. The best advice I could give for young people starting in real estate is listen from the mouth of babes, right? Mm-hmm. I sometimes learn things from my 17-year-old, the way she thinks. Huh? And then people learn from me. It doesn't age, it's just a number.
Sure.
Because the more consistent you are and the more experience you get, it doesn't matter that someone is like 20 or like
sure.
or 30 or 40, right? So
I guess it would just be the experience of doing the negotiation on the deal, correct?
Yeah. So like why would someone want to negotiate with a 23-year-old on a home that's like, sure. 50 million and above, right?
Yeah.
But it's experience. Yeah. It's weird. It's experience. It's constant doing it. The fact that he's even in such a home. So shout out to you, Joseph, means that you are doing great.
Right.
Yeah.
You think about that real estate market, places like Greenwich with their multi-million-dollar homes. Yeah. I think, what it is, it's personality too, right? Like, are they sincere? Do you really think you can trust them? Those kind of things.
Well, you know what, Tom, you said the magic word. It's trust. There's so many people in the industry that I even hear, oh, well, I can't trust him. I can trust her. I would never do business with that person. But they won't hear a reply from me of yes, good, or indifference, which is already makes me trustworthy. Right. Whether I know things, I take it to the vault. Trust is something that you earn, obviously. So repetition, trust, and going the extra mile.
Sure.
And not just being there for like the money, because when you're there for just the money, I think that people would lose and not even get the listing. You should be there in anything you do in life for the experience. Like the work is actually the pleasure, like the working and like feeling it and constantly like, being your advocate for your client, whether the buyer or the seller, and acting with the utmost fiduciary will make you stand out. And, like tomorrow, one of my clients was just in the hospital. I will be bringing her lunch tomorrow. Oh, cool. And, but it's because I love her. I tend to fall in love with all my clients. And, and somebody in my industry, nameless, said, oh, you get too personal with your clients.
Nah.
But how do you not?
Yeah.
Like, how do you not? Like, I don't view people as a business deal.
Yeah.
Once you get to know the person and you get to know their needs and what they want and what home they look for, you get to know the person. Yeah. Not everyone is an amazing client, but I really tend to really, really love all my clients. I do.
Well, it's a good thing, but it's also good for your business because now that word of mouth, your clients now saying, wow, she's fantastic. She's like my best friend now, So, but the one thing you said, I really believe in too, and I've learned this many, many times. You don't look at the money first. Go do your job properly, grind it out, do what you need to do, be the credible person that you need to be, and then the money will follow. And in fact, you probably get more money when you act that way. Because
correct, 100%. I'll give you one example that was really good. I wish all my deals would be like that. I had a referral in Douglaston, Queens, and it was an amazing referral. The seller lived in California, so he was not even here. Sent me his keys, and then from the keys, I ended up putting a padlock on the door and just organizing. He was never even here. But then when I got there, it was disgusting, like literally a frat house. So it was a 3-floor unit, like 3 apartments. I had it cleaned. Like I could have said, hey, send somebody. This is gross. I had it cleaned. I put candles around, made it all smell yummy. And I started showing that one of the buyers came in and said, no English. By the way, no English. And it's one of the languages that I do not speak because I speak four, but it's one of them that I don't speak.
Right.
And her daughter, 12-year-old, was the interpreter.
Oh, okay.
And she said, my mom likes you so much. She wants you to represent her in the deal. And I was like, she likes me.
Really?
But she said, yeah. She said, the way you explain, the way you're showing this, that she wants you to represent her. So I ended up representing the seller who lives in California and the buyer in this one transaction. And it was,
you're allowed to do that, represent the buyer and the seller?
Yes. And that's a very good question because that could get very tricky because who's fiduciary? Like how are you going to represent both? So first, it has to come from the opposing party. So like if I'm representing the seller, I have to disclose it to both parties and they both have to agree.
Oh, okay.
Which they did. Yeah. And then I was almost like a mediator in a marriage.
Yeah, sure.
Because there was a lot of issues that, transpired. But with the interpreter and the two parties, it ended up being really, really an amazing deal.
That's interesting. That's a real compliment to you that both those people trusted you that much to do that job. Yeah, that's cool.
Thank you. And that was probably like one of my favorite deals because I felt very, very, I had a proud moment.
Yeah, very true. What are the 4 languages you speak?
I speak French, English, Hebrew, Spanish, and I understand Italian.
Oh, okay, good. I'm trying to learn Spanish right now too. I'm getting better at it. Buenos días, señorita.
Oh, buenos días,
¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está? ¿Cómo está?
Está bien. Yo estoy aquí contigo.
I should have done a long time ago, but I'm really serious. I don't even want to. I've got Google here, so I just talk to Google all the time. So I'll say, well, how do you say this?
That's the best way to learn.
Yeah, it's incredible.
It's the best. I have to share a funny story about my mom. My mom was very big about pronunciations. She couldn't. So she'd say, like I would speak with her. I'm like, Mama, je veux le chewing-gum when I was little, and she's like grabbed my lip and she goes, I give you French lips. You use it correctly. You don't talk like. I'm like, oh.
That's funny. That's funny.
So I had to share that because in any language that I speak, I have an accent. So no matter which country I'm at, and I speak the language, they ask me where I'm from. I kid you not.
So you're fluent in all those languages. You can speak. Wow, that's fantastic. Good. I'm mad because when I was in school in Canada, we took 4 years of French, so I was pretty fluent in French when I left high school. But I just never spoke it anymore, and I just lost it all.
It's hard. Yeah. It's hard when you don't speak it. And my mom passed. It's almost 4 years, and I don't use it. And it's. I don't know that I'm gonna lose it because I grew up with it, but I don't get to use it, so it's kind of sad.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, you and your boyfriend Mark, we met about a month ago, right? We met in the city at Penn 6 at that place.
It was such a great. We came to see you because I grew up watching the Rangers when I was in high school, and and you were in a locker, Pierre LaRouche, Ron Duguay, Ricky Schroeder, Michael Jackson.
There you go. I like that.
All my posters. And there you were. And you know what? You're such an incredible person.
Oh, thank you.
You really are. You're a true person. And then, I gravitate to people like that. And you're incredible. You're an inspiration. And you were a great player.
Yeah, you're a sweetheart. You're a sweetheart. Seriously, we hit it off right away. You and Mark, we all became friends right away. Really happy you're in my life. Great show here today. I'm looking forward to seeing the podcast that you and I did. And again, the name of the podcast is
Gold Coast Connections.
Good. And where will people be able to find that?
So it's going to be launched on January 4th, 2023. They're going to find it on YouTube. We have our own Instagram account that we just actually launched yesterday. I'm very excited. It's Gold Coast Connections if you want to start following it. And then we're going to have little clips and we're going to have guest speakers and YouTube and would love for you to come back and
Oh,
do the
absolutely.
show.
Definitely. Love to. Yeah.
Yes, and
Yeah.
we'll have the best time.
Yeah. It was good.
Yeah,
Very
and
good.
I,
Yeah.
and I look forward to it. I can't wait till January 4th. But first, we
Yeah.
got to enjoy all of the holidays.
There you go. No, you were great with the podcast too. You were a great interviewer. You know, you were
Thank
good
you.
to like let the people speak and all that. So you had a real, you're good at it.
Thank
Very
you.
good job. And if anybody wants to
Thank
buy
you.
real estate, where do they go to find you again?
Well, they can find me at Seema L at nestseekers.com. You can email me. You can follow me on Instagram, Seema_nest_seekers. And then my information is there.
Perfect. Good job. All right.
Yeah.
Great to have you on here, my friend. All right. Very happy you're in my life too.
Take
Take care. Take care, everybody.